While I'd say the general reception to the Assassin's Creed Mirage gameplay trailer was very positive, there's been a fair share of people who are labeling the game as a reskinned Valhalla. And while I can understand where those people are coming from, I was a bit confused as to why so many people were surprised that Mirage has some similarities to Valhalla. For those of us who've been following Mirage ever since it was first leaked, known as codename Rift, we've known that it was originally going to be a DLC for Valhalla, and the developers have been quite transparent in the fact that Mirage is going to be using a lot of the assets from Valhalla. Mirage wasn't supposed to be some massive new game with new assets, that's what codename Red is going to be, but rather Mirage is supposed to be kind of an in-between smaller game that combines old Assassin's Creed with the new, so it's all about expectations. For those of us who knew from the beginning to expect a similar look to Valhalla, a lot of the similarities in the gameplay didn't come as a shock. Maybe some people set their expectations a little too high when the developers said they looked at some of the older AC games as examples, like Unity. I know that made a lot of people hopeful that they would bring a lot of Unity's assets into Mirage, but the developers never outright said they were doing that. And I know there is some concern about the game looking similar to Valhalla, specifically with the parkour. Frankly, I'm a little concerned about that myself, but because Mirage has similar gameplay to Valhalla, that gave Ubisoft Bordeaux time to work and focus on other things. They've only been developing this game for a little over 2 years at this point. That's obviously not a lot, so if they weren't using assets from Valhalla, then the rest of the game would suffer for it. For example, sure, they didn't have time to create a completely new parkour system, but they clearly put time into designing the world to better support parkour. They sped up Basim's animations, which hopefully eliminates that kind of sluggish feeling Eivor had in parkour, and of course they added things like the pole vault. From this gameplay trailer, we can even see where they improved on the smaller details, like the cloth physics. The cloth physics look so much better than Valhalla's. In Valhalla, the outfit stuck to Eivor like glue, and you can look back in all the previous AC games, even in Origins, and you can see the cloth physics are significantly better. They already look way better in Mirage, and again, it's a small thing, but when you see good small details like that, it's typically a good sign. That means they really put their time and care into those smaller details in development. You can even see some movement in this rug while Basim walks across it. Small details like this add up and can create an overall better, more immersive experience. It may seem insignificant, but it definitely makes a difference. The next point I want to make is that this game is $50. Ubisoft is setting our expectations accordingly here. That's $20 cheaper than what they charge for full price games now. Codename Red, if that comes out next year, will most certainly be $70. So it's not like they're trying to cheat fans by using the same assets from the previous game and then charging it at full price. And make no mistake, that is something Ubisoft has done in the past. Assassin's Creed Rogue is probably the best example. That game only had 8 months of development and borrowed a ton of assets from Black Flag, but that didn't stop Ubisoft from charging a full $60 on release for it. And don't get me wrong, I really like Rogue, but it should not have been full price. So it seems Ubisoft has learned their lesson in that regard. Again, it's all about expectations, and Ubisoft set them accordingly. The developers said they would be building off the technology from Valhalla, and ever since Mirage was officially announced, we knew it would be $50. So unless you weren't following or keeping up with Mirage, then I'm not sure why some people were outraged that it had similar gameplay to Valhalla. It's not like Mirage is even that small either. Sure, it's small compared to the RPG games, but compared to the older AC games, it's actually still a pretty big game. Its world is around the size of Unity and Syndicate, with a similar story length and side content. I know these days with open world games, we've gotten so used to having 40+ hour games, but a 15 to 30 hour game is still a good sized game, especially when compared to the old AC games that would put Mirage on the longer side. So is Mirage truly just a reskinned Valhalla? In some areas, maybe you could say that, again like some of the animations and mechanics within the gameplay, but the entire design, structure, and philosophy of the game is completely different. It's a game that's supposed to blend the old with the new, not completely reinvent the series. Some people might not like that. That's fine, you do you, this is just my opinion of course. But I think the reason I'm okay and still optimistic with parts of the gameplay looking similar to Valhalla is because that's where my expectations were. So just simply labeling this game a reskinned Valhalla, to me, is a bit inaccurate. Because at the end of the day, even though these two games share some DNA, they're going to be very different games. But again, that's just what I think. Let me know, do you think Mirage is a reskinned Valhalla? As always, if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you left a like and considered subscribing to the channel if you're new. Special thank you to my members for supporting me, and a huge thank you to all of you. We are almost at 200k subscribers, which just feels unreal. Thank you so much. I say it a lot, but you guys really changed my life. So again, thank you, and I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, Assassins.